Hi, good morning and welcome to our meditation. Today is the 31st of August. I would like to read in Proverbs chapter 15, verse 15. All the days of the afflicted are evil, but he who is of merry heart has a continual feast. How to continue having a feast when you go through trials and tribulations? There's going to be a contrast between the afflicted person and the person with a merry heart, a happy heart. We have seen in Proverbs, actually in this chapter 15, how the joy is shown in the face of a person who's got a pure heart. We also have seen in Proverbs that everything that comes out of our mouth actually comes from our hearts. So here, a merry heart is in contrast with an afflicted one. And then there's going to be a feast for that merry heart. So how can we gain a heart like that? How can we have a heart like that? Paul is going to tell us in 2 Corinthians chapter 12, verses 9 and 10, "But he said to me, my grace is sufficient for you, for my strength is made perfect in weakness. Therefore, most gladly I will boast in my weaknesses, that the power of Christ may rest upon me. So that I take pleasure in weaknesses, in reproaches, in hardships, in persecutions, and in distresses, for Christ's sake. For when I am weak, then I am strong." Paul is not saying I enjoy suffering. No, nobody does. He's saying that he's going through these trials because of Christ. It is for Christ. Because he realized that when he's weak, he is strong. And sometimes God is going to send trials our way. So we will realize that we depend on him, that without him we cannot do anything. We are very limited people, aren't we? We are limited in time, but also in space. We cannot be here now and be here tomorrow at the same time. We cannot do that. God can. I cannot be here in the Basque country in the south of France, southwest of France, and be in Brazil. I haven't been to Brazil since 2014. I can't be there and be here at the same time. There are lots of things that we cannot do. So we are weak. And when you realize that, you let God's grace work in your life. If there is grace, it's because we are weak. If we are not weak, we wouldn't need grace. We would be gods ourselves. But we are not. So our joy comes from the Lord. He's going to say that in my last verse. Another verse I would like to read is from James chapter 1, verses 9 and 10. "Let the brother of low degree rejoice in that he is exalted, but the rich rejoice in that he is made low, because as the flower of the grass, he will pass away." We will all pass away, poor or rich. Here, our joy doesn't come from the fact that we are poor or because we are rich. It comes from God. It can only come from God. That's why Paul is saying in Philippians chapter 4, verse 4, "Rejoice in the Lord always." It's not just saying rejoice always. We cannot rejoice always, can we? Yesterday, a friend of mine rang me crying and say, "We lost a dear friend in an accident here, a motorbike accident here in the south of France. A young person who died this week." So life is very short. And Paul is not telling us to rejoice just for rejoicing. He's telling us to rejoice in the Lord. In the Lord, you can rejoice always. May God bless you.